So will Donald Trump face a Republican primary challenger in 2020? If he does, he won't be the first Republican president to face a challenge from within his own party. Gerald Ford didn't become president in the usual way. Richard Nixon resigned, and his first 2 years were rocky. In a big blue wave, Democrats picked up 49 seats in the House of Representatives in the 1974 midterm elections. And within the Republican Party, there was a lot of dissent. So in 1975, a charismatic conservative Republican named Ronald Reagan decided to challenge Gerald Ford in the primaries.
Other conservatives have expressed specific disagreements with President Ford.
I cannot support the size of the deficit that has been agreed to.
He ended up with more than 38% of the delegates and about 45% of the Republican primary vote. Donald Trump is also facing criticism from within the Republican Party. Criticism for his behavior at the Helsinki summit.
President Putin was extremely strong and powerful.
Criticism over his support for tariffs. And criticism of his character.
The Charlottesville response by the president was something that gave me great concern. The support for Roy Moore in the Senate race was something I was very, very concerned about.
The president's approval rating is historically low. The most recent Gallup poll shows that less than 40% of the voters support him, but 88% of Republicans still say they support Donald Trump. So why would anyone think that a primary challenge to Donald Trump would have any chance at all? Well, when you dig deeper into the numbers, Donald Trump doesn't look quite as strong. The popular narrative is that the Republican Party is dominated by older white evangelical Christian voters, but the reality is that fewer than a third of the Republican Party is made up of white evangelical Christians. And when you look at the other two-thirds of the Republican Party, you begin to see some glaring weaknesses for Trump. He's unpopular with Republican voters under 45 and unpopular with moderate Republican voters. And you can see this when you look at the 2016 primary results, where Donald Trump received only a plurality of the vote. And already, a recent poll found that 44% of Republicans want another Republican to challenge Donald Trump for the Republican nomination in 2020. And remember that Hillary Clinton was viewed favorably by 90% of Democrats in June of 2014, according to Gallup, and then faced a furious primary fight with Bernie Sanders. Which suggests that if a charismatic candidate, like a Republican Bernie Sanders, would emerge, that 2020 could be much more unpredictable than the pundits think. And then, of course, there are the X factors. Well, first, there's obviously the Mueller report. If there are disturbing indications that Trump might have colluded or conspired with the Russians.
I never said there was no collusion between the campaign or between people in the campaign.
Yes, you have.
That might cause Republican opinion to begin to shift. Perhaps the greatest danger to Donald Trump is the economy. If there's a recession, it not only undermines Donald Trump's most effective talking point, but it might cause members of his own base to look skeptically on his re-election. So looking ahead to 2020, the choice the Republican voters have to make is not whether they prefer Donald Trump to a Democratic candidate, it's whether they want Donald Trump to be the Republican candidate.